Good evening, everybody. It is 7 o'clock on Monday, April 15th, and we will call this regularly scheduled meeting of the Sault Ste. Marie City Commission to order. Could we have roll call, please?
Mayor Gary,
Here.
Commissioner Bauer,
Here.
Commissioner Baspis Rath,
Here.
Commissioner Gage,
Here.
Commissioner Habusta,
Here.
Commissioner Marble,
Here.
Commissioner Rubenstein.
Here.
All are in attendance. If everybody could please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much, everybody. So I'm going to skip over mayor comments, and we are going to go right into proclamations and recognition. Let's go. Could we have Ken and Wilda Hopper come up to the podium, please? We have a proclamation here, and it's in recognition of Ken and Wilda Hopper's, oops, double redundancy there. Recognition of Ken and Wilda Hopper's recognition from Pure Michigan for their story of inspiration. Whereas Ken and Wilda Hopper's contributions to the Sault Ste. Marie area and their inspirational story have been recognized at the 2024 Pure Michigan Governors Conference on Tourism. And whereas the Hoppers, through their businesses such as Birdseye Outfitters and Birdseye Adventures, along with the organizations they've co-founded such as Outhouse Consortium, have created a positive impact on the community. And whereas the development of non-motorized trails has promoted healthier lifestyles in Sault Ste. Marie, and whereas the Hoppers' perseverance to their dreams have inspired a movement that is turning Sault Ste. Marie into an outdoor recreation destination, and therefore I, Don Gary, Mayor of the City of Sault Ste. Marie, congratulate Ken and Wilda Hopper, along with all those who've helped support them and work with them for their recognition at the state level. Be it further known that the City of Sault Ste. Marie extends its gratitude to the Hoppers and wishes them the best as their story of inspiration continues to benefit our community as a whole. In witness thereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the City of Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, to be affixed this 15th day of April, 2024. Don Gary, Mayor. Congratulations. I'm sure you'll have a few words for us. Tell us about your recognition down in Kalamazoo.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah. Come on. Come on, Willie. Thank you. Thank you very much, guys. It's very humbling, and I guess it's nice to share the recognition. You got anything? Honestly, we love the community and we want to just make it better. And for a lot of people, that's hard to grasp, but we let everybody there know. And it was a good feeling because as we were walking up to the stage in Kalamazoo, some woman, random, didn't know her, in the audience said, "Birdseye's the best." I'm like, okay, thanks. But, destination, but we want to make Sault Ste. Marie proud and the surrounding area proud. So thank you for the recognition.
And it's also a recognition, not just of what we're doing, but also the fact that we couldn't have done it by ourselves. We have so many great partnerships. I mean, the city in and of itself has been a great partner for us. Like Little Traverse Conservancy, the tribes, like it shows that community is key and partnerships are key, and we can't do this alone. So people who, stretch out their hands and say, let's do little things together, and together we can make something big. This is, it's what this is, yeah.
Just a start.
Yeah.
We'll be around for a little while.
All right.
Yeah.
I think everybody'd like to shake your hand.
Oh, okay.
Congratulations.
After you. You go that way. I'll go this way.
Linda, did you want to say anything? And And Linda Hoth would like to say a couple words, I think, before we...
They are the prime example of what we needed. For years, I was not able to ever do the silent sports. Yes, we had trails. Yes, we had people with kayaks, but we had nothing that brought us together and was allowed to tourism-wise. I said, so when we saw this award, we thought that we would put my first thought, Ken and Wilda, because they have done so much to bring new money into the community, to bring new things happening, and to be a part of so many other things, just little things. The Arts Council and different things like that can really make a difference. So thank you, Ken and Wilda. I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you.
Thanks, Linda, and congratulations, Ken and Wilda, and that's one of the shortest speeches I've seen you make, Ken, so it's... Great job. Thanks for everything you do for the community. We'll move on into item C, which is public comment. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to make any comments on any scheduled agenda item? Anybody that would like to make any comments on any of the scheduled agenda items? Seeing none, we'll move into item D, which is the consent agenda. Deputy City Manager Robin Troyer.
Thank you, Mayor. Under the consent agenda, 1, approval of the City Commission meeting minutes of April 1st, 2024. Item 2, acceptance of the Airport Advisory Board meeting minutes of February 8th. Item 3 is acceptance of the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board meeting minutes of January 30th. Item 4 is acceptance of the Police and Fire Pension Board meeting minutes of February 21st and February 22nd. Item 5 is acceptance of the PEHP for the Department of Public Works Unit meeting minutes of March 18th. Item 6 is appointment of Kelly Townsend and Stephanie Sprecher to the Downtown Development Authority. Item 7 is consideration of EDC user fee schedule for the Industrial Incubator. Item 8 is consideration of a service agreement with Cloverland Electric Cooperative for new service at the Carbide Dock. Item 9 is consideration of MDOT resolution for speed study on East Portage Avenue. Item 10 is consideration of Smart Zone lease agreement with Osprey Technologies LLC. And item 11 is approval of the consent agenda items as presented.
Thank you very much, Deputy City Manager. Would any commissioner like any of these items further explained or removed for individual consideration? Commissioner Habusta.
Motion to remove item number 6 for individual consideration.
All right. Any other items? Commissioner Bauer.
I move that we adopt tonight's consent agenda other than number 6.
Support.
It's been moved and supported that we adopt the consent agenda minus item number 6. Any questions or comments? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. So we will move into consent agenda item number 6. City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up first for commission consideration is the appointment of Kelly Townsend and Stephanie Sprecher to the Downtown Development Authority.
Thank you very much, City Manager. Commissioner Habusta.
I'd like to motion that we separate those two nominations and consider them both individually.
So it's been moved. Is there support?
I'll support that.
Any questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we'll consider those separately. Commissioner Habusta.
Motion for the appointment of Kelly Townsend to the Downtown Development Authority.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion passed unanimously. Any discussion, Commissioner Habusta?
Yes, I would know we all live in a small community, and I know ulterior motives can easily be ascribed. I also recognize that former Director Sprecher brought many great qualities to the position of DDA Director, and I was happy to support her whenever I could, volunteering for many great projects. But I'm new to the commission, and I've learned a lot from the Michigan Municipal League over the last year. I would like to get some guidance from the Michigan Municipal League, MML, about appointing a newly departed former department head to a board of directors. I believe we have to be mindful of the process. With that in mind, pending further guidance from the Michigan Municipal League, I motion to table the appointment of Stephanie Sprecher to the Downtown Development Authority.
There has been a motion to table. Is there support of that motion?
I'll support.
Any discussion on the motion to table? Commissioner Bauer.
Yes, as you know, I am the liaison to the DDA, and in the interest of full disclosure, I was not in attendance at the meeting when the DDA discussed whether or not to appoint Stephanie Sprecher to that position. However, of course, I've known Stephanie for a while. She did, I thought, a tremendous job as DDA director, and we were sorry to see her go. Of course, I understand Commissioner Habusta's point, and that is that the job that she did isn't really the point or the issue as far as appointing her to that position. But that said, I had a fairly lengthy discussion with Mr. Cooper, of course, the head of the chairman of the DDA committee, and also with Stephanie Sprecher. And Stephanie Sprecher brings to a board that has had a tremendous amount of flux over the past year, 2 years. We've seen a lot of people come and go through there, and she has a lot of institutional knowledge that I think we're lucky to have. What we've seen, and we saw it even with I would call Justin Knepper a great DDA director, but even with him, there was a full year of acclimation, of trying to, get things together. We saw that to a large degree with the woman who, I can't even remember her name anymore, but the woman who was before Tony Cutler. We saw that in the limited time that Tony Cutler was there. We saw it with Stephanie Sprecher, and that's no knock on Tony Cutler or Stephanie Sprecher or even Justin Knepper, because they were all very capable and very competent. It's just that, that job can be very daunting for the new person in that role. And when I talked to Stephanie about it, I wanted to, really get a grip, and I never really thought that she would be in it, as any sort of power play, as any sort of having any sort of ulterior motives other than just trying to make downtown Sault Ste. Marie the best that it can be. And I think that she would do a wonderful job in that position. Now, as a business owner, and I think that the Hoppers would agree, that sometimes you have to take risks, and sometimes, especially when you're looking at employing people, you have to look at their potential upside, right? And I think that Stephanie Sprecher, for this position, has all the upside in the world. So even though, and I do understand the other side of the argument, and I even agree with it to a degree, but I would also say that Stephanie has so much upside, and anybody who really knows her, I think, would have to believe that she doesn't really have any ulterior motives and can be a great asset to the new DDA director once we're onboarding them. So I would vote strongly in favor of, and one other thing too, that this was a decision that was made by the DDA board. And I personally, and I think that we have as a group, tried to take a hands-off approach to other boards' decisions and try not to overrule the decisions that they make. And they decided to to bring Stephanie on board in that capacity. So I think that that's pretty much, I know that we do have the authority to overrule that, but I'd hate to kind of go there with other committees and start overruling their decisions. We see that in planning probably more than any other board, but in this instance, I would say that as well, that I would want to take our hands off, that the DDA said, let's bring, and they know her better than anybody because they've been working with her for a year, at least the people who have been on that board for a year know her well enough. And so I would say, let's give this a chance and allow Stephanie Sprecher to serve on the DDA as is recommended by the board.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anybody else have any thoughts? Commissioner Gage?
I have personally, I've really had a tough time with this because I think Stephanie has done an amazing job serving our community. And I really want to applaud her willingness and desire to continue to serve this community. The only reservation that I've had is given that she was recently the director and then going from that back to the board. I understand that in the nonprofit world, that's generally a not encouraged practice. And that's the only reservation that I have in supporting this. And again, it's difficult because I have so much respect and admiration for Stephanie. I think she's a good person and a good member of our community and did a great job. And so it's difficult for me to like have this position because I don't want it to be construed that I don't believe in Stephanie Sprecher. It's just that I have that concern about, this is a generally accepted best practice to not have somebody who was there as recently as a month or two ago, whenever that was, come right onto the board. So I would personally kind of lean more towards asking if we can get advice from the MML or maybe the city attorney to just give any additional insight if they think that's a good idea or not. But I mean, like Commissioner Bauer makes a very persuasive argument, so frankly, I'm even more conflicted in some respects. So I think that, your recommendation for her speaks volumes, and you made it hard. I'm even more conflicted now than I was before, so thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner. Commissioner Bosses-Rath?
Thank you, Mayor. The only thing that I don't see why it's not going to hurt anything for us to table and just do a little bit more research. We're not saying that Stephanie would not be good on the board. She was an amazing DDA director. She's motivated, she's energetic, she's done amazing things. But to me, I think, like you were saying, Commissioner, it's not going to hurt to just do a little bit more research. We're not saying no, we're just saying, let's just do a little bit more research. It can't hurt. And then, that's just my opinion. I think she did a great job, and I'm not saying no, I'm just saying, let's just do a little bit more research.
Thanks, Commissioner. Commissioner Rubenstein?
I would agree with everything that's said as well, that there's no harm in doing additional research. And I'm conflicted for a lot of the same reasons that Commissioner Gage brought up, and Commissioner Bauer brought up some very good points as well. But I think there's no harm in just digging a little bit further. But again, Stephanie did an amazing job. Some really good things happened, but I see no harm in doing some additional research there.
All right. Commissioner Marvel?
I agree. I'm in exactly the same way. Commissioner Rubenstein, Commissioner Gage, and Commissioner Bosworth have said that I think we just need to do a little bit more of an investigation. I do believe that Stephanie is an amazing person, and her contributions to our city is amazing. But I think that we maybe need to just look into it a little bit further, just to make sure, to cover the bases and everything. Thank you.
And I like Stephanie a lot, and I think she did a great job, and I've had a couple calls in support, and I have had a couple calls not in support. And I agree that with tabling, we must address it at the next meeting, so I think if we got some more information, support, I think Commissioner Bauer, I hope you do my eulogy someday, because it was very inspiring, very strong words, and I appreciate that, so.
not too soon.
Good speaker, the radio man. So, anybody else have any other comments? Yeah, Commissioner Bauer.
Yeah, I would like to say that, and as I choose my battles, that in the interest of harmony, I plan on going along with the motion to table. Although I would bring Stephanie on board now, but I mean, more information never hurts. So, I mean, I'm willing to go along with the motion to table.
All right, we have a motion and support. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to table did pass unanimously. Thank you, everybody. Okay, we will move on into item E, which is special orders of business. City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for commission, not consideration, but just receiving it tonight as required by the city charter. We have delivered you a budget on schedule that is balanced. The budget itself, we'll get obviously into it more details tomorrow, but the budget has been presented to you. It requires, I'm tongue-tied right now, sorry. I know, a lot of it tomorrow, I'm sorry, I'm just tongue-tied. The budget that we have presented to you is balanced. It maintains all of our staffing and service levels. We're fortunate that this year we didn't have too many discussions about cutting any services. On the positive note, there is about $2.5 million in capital that we are investing in equipment and infrastructure throughout the city. Good portion is being funded or coming from the utilities. Again, we'll get a lot more into the detail tomorrow, but if there's any questions before then, just feel free to reach out. But other than that, we'll get into the budget tomorrow during the budget meeting.
Thank you much. Thank you very much, City Manager. And a reminder, it is tomorrow at 4:15, and be prepared for a long session. There are 89 glorious pages to the budget, so. Who's running the budget meeting? Is that Finance Director? Or?
Staff and I will be doing
Okay.
it.
All right, so any questions or comments? Commissioner Rubenstein, would you like to make a motion?
Motion to accept the city manager's recommended budget for fiscal years beginning July 1, 2024.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Moving to item F, communications. City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next for commission consideration is a presentation from Cherry Capital Fiber Optic. If you guys want to come on up, we've got a quick PowerPoint that they want to present to you. Cherry Capital Fiber Optic is doing some work within the region, within the city, and they just wanted to inform the commission of what they've got going on. There is no action items that we would need to follow up with this. So with that, I'm turning it over to you guys.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm Tim. I'm the CEO for Cherry Capital Communications. And
yeah, I'm Levi. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Cherry Capital.
we market our services as CCC Fiber because Cherry Capital Communications is.
Jim, turn the mic down, please.
Oh, it is. Sorry about that. I'll get closer.
Not fast cable yet, but.
But that's why
We'll have fiber someday, right?
We're here to
Yeah.
we're here to change that. Our effort is a partnership between the Sault Ste. Marie Tribe, CCC Fiber, Cloverland Electric, and the USDA. The Sioux Tribe, and we, over the last 4.5, 5 years, have been promoting fiber in communities because we believe that if 100% of the homes and locations are not connected to fiber, you're just not going to be in a competitive market. You're not going to be able to compete. And a lot of your neighbors are getting funded by other programs, and it's important that the city embrace any company that wants to come in and add fiber, to your community. That will put you in a really good position with the new economy that's coming up. So the Sioux Tribe, working with the USDA, successfully acquired funding to construct a middle mile. That's what connects communities between Sault Ste. Marie through Kinross, Rudyard, and St. Ignace. But based on USDA restrictions, they're not allowed to service any home other than those homes on tribal land. So that's where we came in. This led to a partnership between those entities because we are a CLEC, a telephone company, and we construct our own fiber plant in the lower peninsula. Above the Knuckles is our territory as a telephone company. And so it's a natural fit to help the tribe accomplish their goals. And they are very committed to connecting all the unserved and underserved homes that aren't being done by somebody else. So we're really happy to be here. Next slide. There are 4 things that most consumers ask from CCC. They want something to be affordable, reliable, fast, and simple. They don't want anything complicated. So we provide everything the customer needs, from the router, Wi-Fi, and great technical support on the other end to help them through what appear to be real simple things. But when you're out there and you're down or you can't get a printer connected, it's frustrating. It's nice to have a human being on the other end that can help you. So we provide a range of network services, including simple internet access, phone service, and what are called managed services. That's helping you with your inside network. We are also one of 2 companies in Michigan that is an open access network. So we'll work with other carriers and allow them to use the fiber all the way to your home, and we'll interconnect with them somewhere in Chicago or Southfield or whatever. But you know, we're not here to be a monopoly. We're here to build it once versus having 3 or 4 fiber strands going down the road, which is kind of wasteful. CCC has always had, since 2000, a community effort. That's when we were formed. We did it through Fixed Point Wireless, and 6 years ago we transitioned our Fixed Point Wireless. We had about 100 towers to a fiber plant, and that's where we feel the future lies. We had to change the slide because we haven't yet sent this through the board with the tribe, so they didn't want to say that they're a key government player in this slide. But we are working with the FCC, NTIA, USDA. MyHigh just got $1.5 billion to the table, so we'll work with the tribe to try to bring some of that to this region. The Reconnect funds, we are doing 41% of Benzie County. We're doing about 38 to 40% of Roscommon County. So we're getting and developing private-public partnerships with various government entities throughout. And what that's resulted in is 995 miles of fiber being built and passing about 24,000 homes. And between our investment and government investment, we're a little over 62 million so far in our production. We call it the multiplier. When you're looking at doing a road project or your sewer project or an electrical project, well, you wouldn't do electrical, that'd be the co-op. But look to fiber as an enabler to get funding. What's happened in the past, every funding agency was on its own and didn't talk to each other. In today's world, the agencies are sharing ideas. And so if you're working on opening up a road and you're trying to get federal money, it helps to say that while you have the road open, you're going to put fiber in the ground. And we do partner, we're real active right now in Elk Rapids. We've made a commitment anytime they open up a road, we'll put the conduit in, we'll put the handholds in, we'll even do the extra engineering on top of their sewer plant or road project so that there's no cost to the village. We do encourage that type of collaboration in what you're doing. It just takes the same dollar and makes it much more attractive. Next slide. When we started out, we were Fixed Point Wireless, above the Knuckles. All that red area that you see on the map is what we've done with federal money. RDOF, ARPA, Robin. We're one of 10 companies in Michigan that consistently win on these awards. We have a good track record. We do a pretty good job of GIS and grant writing, and then we do a great job of installation. Levi is the one that's responsible for putting everything in the ground, make sure it gets to your home. We do partner with others. We partner with PFN, ACD, Merit. One of the nicest fiber plant that's available to us is the Reach 3MC network that was built during the Obama era. But we do ask for you as a community to think about adding, if you don't have it, a dig once policy, so that when your roads are open for whatever reason, you have a policy in place that purposely invites a provider in. We'd love to be that provider, but that would be up to you, whether it's part of the bid process or whatever. But don't hesitate to take advantage of that dig once policy. Also, make sure that everything that gets built in your village or city is open access. There are a lot of fiber providers that just won't let me buy fiber from them or even use their fiber. And that's just unfair, especially when so much government money is associated with it. So put in your policies an open access policy. And there is a new website, which I'll send to you. It just came out yesterday. Michigan has a portal for when you're doing projects to encourage fiber providers like myself to bid on it, to place that fiber once you have a dig once policy. So the state of Michigan is attempting to keep track of that and giving you a single location to go to. Next slide. Which one is that? Yep. So this is a picture of the tribe's network. It's 98 miles of fiber. We're building it where if there's existing fiber, we'll be on the other side of the road. If it's on the pole, we'll be underground. So we're trying to make sure that the network between Sault Ste. Marie and St. Ignace is redundant. So if there is a fiber cut for some reason, most of us share networks with one another in the industry, and that allow for auto failover processes. In Sault Ste. Marie, up in the little corner, that yellow is Reconnect 3, the blue is Reconnect 4, and the shading area is about 3,000 feet either side of the actual route. The tribe is the middle of the route through federal funding. The 3,000 feet either side is a CCC fiber investment in the community. So the total that the tribe had was awarded was $28.7 million that they brought to the region, which is pretty good. Next slide. Is there a next slide? Go back one slide then. Is there a next one? There should be one more. Can you go back one? Yeah, that was that one. I'm sorry, we were out of order between mine and yours. Sorry about that. But anyway, those are the type of projects that you want to consider in the dig once, process, just to kind of get your mind going. But we hope to start construction June, July. We're just finalizing the last of the USDA details, and we hope to have the middle mile built in 6 to 9 months, and then we'll take the next 2 to 3 years to get to every home along that route. But, any questions?
Thank you very much. Commissioner Gage.
Well, I really appreciate you coming to the commission and kind of talking to us about this. I've got lots of questions, so I'm hoping you can stick around. Maybe we can talk offline and stay after class. But I just appreciate the sentiment that you guys expressed about, making sure that it's a collaborative effort. In my day job, I work with a lot of folks and that kind of stuff. And I appreciate you working with Peninsula Fiber Network. They're a wonderful, wonderful group. So, and then the whole message of keeping it open so everybody can use it. That middle mile is so expensive and it's so hard to get done. So keeping it open is fantastic. And if you're not able to stay, I'm sure I can get your contact from Mr. Jack. So just thank you for coming.
We have a 2.5 hour drive, so it's not too late.
Not too crazy. So. But thank you so much.
I'll stay for you. That's fine.
Anybody else have any questions? No, Thank you very much for the information, and thank you, Larry Jocks from Sioux Tribe, for being here. I don't know if you have any, keep it low? Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, so we move on into item G, which is business items. Number 1, City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next for commission consideration is a request to purchase 2 lift pumps for the Park Place Lift Station from Crane Engineering in the amount of $36,333, as well as a motion to adjust the budget with an increase of $36,400 for the lift station capital equipment with the funding from sewer capital reserves. So Park Place earlier this summer, late last summer, had an emergency. The pumps blew up. We did replace one. We're going to replace another one and have one as some redundancies in the area. We did bid it out. The bid is included in your agenda item. So we recommend approving the purchase of 2 lift pumps from Crane Engineering, as well as a motion to amend the budget by $36,400.
Blew up on a wastewater pump is
Hey.
kind of a bad description, but.
I got
Anybody-
the shrapnel in my office if you want to see it.
All right, thanks, City Manager. Any questions on this item? Commissioner Gage.
I make a motion to approve the purchase of 2 lift pumps for Park Place Lift Station from Crane Engineering in the amount of $36,333.07.
Support.
We have motion and support. Any questions or comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Commissioner Gage.
Motion to amend the budget with an increase of $36,400 for lift station capital equipment with funding from sewer capital reserves.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Moving on into G, business items. Number 2, City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next for commission consideration is a request to accept a TMF grant from Eagle that will allow us to check some potential lead goosenecks or galvanized service lines within the water system. The grant total is $109,527. This has the potential to check 138 galvanized service lines within the system. The work will be conducted in-house and is 100% refundable for that work. So we look for a motion to accept the grant award as presented, as well as a motion to create corresponding budget for grant tracking purposes.
Thank you, City Manager. Any questions or comments for City Manager? Commissioner Habusta, would you like to make these motions?
A motion to accept the award for a TMF grant in the amount of $109,527 and allow city manager to sign.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Any questions, comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Commissioner Habusta.
Motion to create a corresponding budget for grant tracking.
Support.
Has been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Moving on to G, business items, number 3, City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next for commission consideration are a couple of different items related to the future pavilion and bathroom over at Rotary Island. In your packet, we have the motion to accept the MNRTF grant that will fund the Rotary Pavilion and bathrooms over on Rotary Island, as well as a motion to sign the C2AE contract for professional services for engineering and construction services in the amount of $70,900, and a motion to amend the budget with additional $4,900 coming from the general fund. So the commission will recall, about a year or so ago, we put in a grant application for new bathrooms and pavilion down at Rotary Island. I believe the summer leading up to that, we had a visit with the DNR and some of their staff to come out and check our project. They spent a couple days up here. They toured the site. They learned more about our project. Shortly after that, we received word that we received the grant, to which this is going to execute the grant award. To get this ready for summer work, staff also put out an RFQ for engineering services. We received 4 bids back. There is a recommendation to go with C2AE based on the qualifications of the firm as described in the agenda item. So again, 3 motions: motion to accept the grant and allow the city manager to sign it, motion to sign C2AE contract for professional services, and motion to amend the budget by $4,900 from the general fund.
Thank you, City Manager. Anybody have any questions? Commissioner Bosbus-Rath.
Not a question, just a comment. I love that this is happening. Anybody that's been to Rotary Park knows that this is gonna be a huge asset. There's lots of things that are happening at Rotary Park. It's only getting bigger. So the bathrooms, and the pavilion are gonna be a great asset. So, wonderful.
Good comments? Commissioner Gage.
Just a quick comment that last summer I was lucky enough to go on a tour with the DNR, and we actually were able to see Ken and Wilda's the bridge that they worked on with the last Eagle Scout. I got a splinter that day, which I complained about it previously. But City Manager Chapman was able to bring the DNR folks down to Rotary Park and highlight this project, and so I wanted to make note that it's great to see that it was kind of highlighted and presented, and I think City Manager Chapman helped bring this home, and so I wanted to just compliment him for getting it done. But, well, and others too, certainly. Everybody, it's a team effort, but I'm just being nice to everybody.
It was Linda Ho with an engineering department, but thank you.
There you go, perfect, there. So, anyway, thank you for everybody who did that.
Thanks, Commissioner. Anybody else? Certainly, this has been a long time coming, and thank you to the Rotary Club for all their support and for everybody else that supports our parks. So, Commissioner Bosbus-Rath, since this has 3 separate motions, I think you love doing it.
I do. I love these long ones. Number 1, motion to accept the MNRTF grant and allow the city manager to sign.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Commissioner Bosbus-Rath.
Motion number 2, motion to sign C2AE contract for professional services in the amount of $70,900.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Commissioner Bosbus-Rath.
Lastly, motion to amend the budget with the additional $4,900 coming from the general fund.
Support.
It has been moved and supported. Are there any questions or comments? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion also passed unanimously. Thank you, everybody. Moving on into G, business items number 4. City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next for commission consideration is a request to receive the Public Safety Academy Assistance Grant as presented. So the commission will recall, I believe it was back in December-ish, we brought a grant request to the commission for authorization. It was for the Public Safety Academy Assistance Program, which is a state program that allows municipalities to pre-hire police recruits, send them to the police academy, and have them be MCOLS licensed and certified upon graduation, entering into the police department. Yeah. This is kind of a follow-up item on that one. We did receive the grant. The paperwork just took some time. But Chief Bierling was able to make this program work for us where there's actually no cost to the city. So we currently have 2 recruits going through LSSU's Police Academy. The combination PSAA grant as well as a contribution from the Michigan Works, one of their training programs, has this completely funded for us. So there really wasn't any cost to us. So we've got 2 recruits into the academy right now. I don't know what that word was, but we've got 2 of them into the police academy right now. Their graduation's May-ish. At that time, they'll come right on board with us, go through their FTO, and they will be on their own, ready to go by end of the summer. So 2 motions here. Motion to accept the PSAA grant as presented, and motion to authorize the necessary budget amendments as presented.
Thank you, City Manager. Anybody have any questions for the City Manager or Chief Bierling? Commissioner Bosbus-Rath.
Not a question, just a comment. This is a great collaboration between LSSU and the city. This is amazing. So this definitely keeps those college kids in town. Love it.
Thanks, Commissioner. Anybody else? Commissioner Bauer, would you like to make the motions?
Sure, despite the fact that the city manager seemed to say we had 2 regrets.
Got
But
himself.
I make a motion to accept the Public Safety Academy Assistance Grant as presented.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Commissioner Bauer.
Further, I motion to authorize the necessary budget amendments as presented.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion also passed unanimously. Thanks, Chief. G, business items number 5, City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next for commission consideration is a request for a donation for a kayak storage locker over in the Sherman Park area. Tonight, to make the request, we have Calvin Aldridge, who is working on his Eagle Scout. We're gonna have him kind of come up here, put him on the spot, and he's gonna inform the commission a little bit more about his project.
Good evening, Kelvin.
Good evening, Commission. My name is Kelvin Aldrich. I am from the Boy Scout Troop 105 here in the Sioux, and I'm here seeking approval for my Eagle Scout project up at Sherman Park. So I'm going to start with a little overview on what an Eagle Scout project is, so you guys are familiar with it. Then I'm going to go into a little bit of details about the project, so you're all familiar, and then answer any questions you guys have. So an Eagle Scout project is a way to sum up a Boy Scouts experience in leadership and just to give back to the community, because that's what Boy Scouting is all about, is just improving your community, giving back to the community. And this is the best way I figured I can do this and leave a lasting impact that people can use every day. So I'm going to pull out my little notes here. So this project is a kayak storage locker system that is going to be placed at Sherman Park to store kayaks and other similar personal watercraft, so that people at the campsite or people just going in can store their kayak, and then right at the beach at Sherman Park, they can launch their kayak into safe waters and have a wonderful time at the park. A little bit of specifics here. This is planned to hold about 6 to 12 watercraft, kind of like personal kayak size, a little bit small canoes kind of thing. And then it's going to be made out of probably pressure-treated lumber and corrugated metal sheeting. So,
There, we've got your
yeah,
PowerPoint. Okay.
I got it right down here.
Sorry, it's so long.
So, in the troop, we have a whole bunch of experience doing Eagle Scout projects and other projects such as this. So safety considerations are going to be taken care of and risks are going to be minimal. Timeline, this is probably, we're going to begin construction when materials are ordered, which upon approval or deny of this Eagle Scout project, they will be ordered. That estimates to be about a couple weeks to a month. I'm estimating about a month for construction, and then about another month for creating the foundation and installation. That should be about early to late July is when it should be all fully completed. So one of the points of contention with this project is the location. We bounced around between 3 different locations, which is Sherman Park, Harvey Marina, and Kemp Marina. But we finally settled on Sherman Park for 3 main reasons. The first and most important one is safety, because at Kemp Marina or Harvey Marina, that is right next to the St. Mary's River, right next to the shipping channel, where there is a lot of fishing boats, personal boats, freighters, and tour boats that make the waters relatively unsafe, relatively unfriendly for beginner and intermediate kayakers, which is the demographic that we're targeting. Because if you're an advanced kayaker, you're gonna have your own setup, you're gonna have your own storage, you're gonna be all set. This is for people getting into the sport of kayaking and canoeing and all that, to have a place to safely and securely store their watercraft for any time they want to use it on city property. The second one is use. With Sherman Park having its own little campground and being kind of central to a lot of the EUP, this gives a lot of demand for a product such as this to store your kayaks securely, so that you can pull up in the parking lot, put it in this locker, and then just drag it right on onto the beach. I have some pictures and maps of where this is located, so I can go better in depth to explain to you guys that. And then the last one is construction. Sherman Park is relatively flat and it has good road access, so it will make construction vastly easier compared to like Kemp Marina, where it would be on a hill, down some stairs. It's just a lot easier at Sherman Park. So what you guys probably care about is what I need from you guys. I need approval for technically what would be the donation to the city. And then as necessary permits, I will work with Mr. Perron and the Parks and Recs Department to get those. And then secondarily, a allocation from the Seal Estate Foundation grant would be very beneficial to help ease the financial costs of this project and help everything go just a little bit smoother. Okay. So that is all the main points I've covered. I know you guys have some questions, and I'm prepared and ready to answer any of them that you have. So is there anything right now that you guys have?
Thank you very much, Calvin. Great presentation. So I'll go to the City Commission. Anybody have any questions? Commissioner Gage.
Well, more just a comment. You seem like a very nice young man.
Thank you.
And I certainly wish you luck in this project. I mentioned to you before the meeting, you know, I was in Boy Scouts and I got to Life Scout, didn't finish my Eagle project, and so one of the biggest regrets I've had is not finishing that project, so good on you for getting it done.
Thank you.
Good luck, have fun. I fully support your entire request, but the only advice I can give, mentioning I kind of was joking with the hoppers earlier. I got a splinter on the last one, so maybe sand a little. I'm just joking.
I'll make
but
sure everything is sanded
pick it on
and
you a
free of
little bit,
splinters.
But good luck, and we're proud of you. So
Thank you.
Anybody else? Yeah, Commissioner Rubenstein.
Yeah, I echo that this is an awesome project. The only question I have is, you mentioned regardless of the seal funds or not, that the project could get completed. Would the scope change at all?
The
With
scope would not change at all.
Well, thank you.
Commissioner Abusta.
Just to echo the sentiments of Commissioner Gage, Commissioner Rubenstein, just very excited to see this project go forward. Calvin, I know you're an outstanding young man from an outstanding family, so just very excited to see this go forward.
Thank you.
And Commissioner Bosbus-Rath.
Just one question, Kelvin. This was
Absolutely.
a great presentation. How will the kayaks be stored safely as far as from theft or?
Okay,
I'm-
so this is kind of a several-fold plan we have to keep these kayaks safe out of the weather and safe from theft, which is a very important concern, which we have now recently addressed in our second version of our design. So I don't know if you have this document.
I got it. Bonnie, you
Okay,
want to throw my
perfect.
screen up
So-
on the screen?
Okay, yeah. Page 3 has our kind of an exploded view of the design that we plan to have. So you can see the white corrugated metal on the back short side there. That is going to be fully enclosed around the entire building. There is going to be small, probably about 6 to 8 inch vents, about a couple feet long, along the length of the building with mesh to keep anybody from accessing the stuff stored inside while maintaining ventilation and a little bit of light so you can see what's going on in there. The doors, which would have been on the first design, but I don't think are included in any of the materials here, are going to be made completely out of aluminum, welded aluminum, with mesh doors to improve ventilation, and there will be a locking system that we have not designed the specifics yet. We're looking at something similar to a kayak storage facility down in Ellsworth, I believe is the name, but we're going to make sure that that is safe, secure, and robust, and long-lasting, because we don't want anybody's stuff getting stolen, because that reflects back onto me. So I want to make sure, first and foremost, that that is perfectly secure.
Right on. Thank you so much.
Anybody else?
I guess, sorry.
One time only.
I guess, yeah, sorry.
Commissioner Gage.
The other kind of question I had too is like, so do you envision this like a short, like a week-long rental period, or a season-long rental period, or a little bit of both, or? I know the Parks Department's probably going to run it, right?
Yeah. I was going to hand it over to the city. I haven't made any plans myself on how this should best be rented out to serve the community.
Yeah.
That was going to be handled by the city or whoever the city leases this out to for operations or et cetera.
We'll figure it out later. Just go build it, eh?
Anybody else? Great project, great presentation. Thank you very much. We wish you success. Give you an opportunity if you want to talk a little bit about you and what your goals are, and you have a couple of proud, I'm assuming, parents in the audience.
Yes,
If you'd like
as
to
my
introduce them as
mother and
well.
father in the audience.
Yeah.
So I
Are
am
you in school? Are you in school, and what are your goals, do you think?
Yes, I am a junior at Sioux Area High School. My goal with this project is to finally get my Eagle Scout, because my dad's an Eagle Scout, so I want to follow in his footsteps and become another Eagle Scout. So this is my final step, along with the paperwork associated with the Eagle rank and this project. That's my last step to get Eagle, and I would really like to get Eagle before my 18th birthday, because that's just one of my goals I have. I plan to continue serving in my Boy Scout troop until I leave for college, and even when I come back here, try to be active as much as I can.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anybody would like to take the motions on this one? Commissioner Gage.
Motion to accept the donation.
Support.
Been moved and supported to accept the donation. Any questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Commissioner Gage.
Motion to approve an allocation in the amount of $2,500 from the SEAL Operating Fund for the construction and installation of kayak storage lockers at Sherman Park.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Both motions passed unanimously. Congratulations. Good luck on your project.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Excellent. Let's move on into item H, which is city manager announcements and updates.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple things tonight. Seasonal road restrictions have been lifted as of today, in case you haven't seen. Just a few project updates that we'll be starting off here in the next couple of weeks. Meridian Avenue is gonna be starting 5/13. We're figuring out the staging for LSSU's graduation weekend.
Thank
We got
you.
all that under control. So it won't be any of the pictures. We got that. Don't worry about that. Easter Day, starting April 15th, that'll be rolling up here. They're going to they're not gonna repave. They're gonna pave the section where they left off last year and then move on to the new section heading towards Portage Avenue and the Carbide Dock. Carbide Dock is set to start here last week, next week, this week? Last week. Carbide Dock did start last week. So a lot of big projects moving forward this summer. We're going to have all these things wrapped up for everyone, so we're really looking forward to it. I-500, that one is still in the works. We're hoping to be able to have some more engineering and type of work done this summer. So ready to bid, waiting for the feds to give us approval. So that's moving forward as well. So other than that, don't forget we have budget meeting tomorrow.
I'm sure the pressing question will be, do you expect Easter Day to be closed for a significant period of time, or?
Come on up, Dave.
Put the engineer on the spot. I'm assuming Meridian will be closed for quite a while since it's underground, but Easter Day is just,
So Meridian's gonna be done in two portions. The first one in front of the college and then the next one up the 8th Street, so we'll try to mitigate that, and there'll be a detour there, but, yeah, so Easter Day is gonna, we're gonna close down the portions that we need to finish paving and redo the restoration work. So that'll be the first thing, I think that went out today, actually. And then the very east end down by DPW, that'll be closed off like it was last year. So
Easter
once I get the paving done, then I'll reopen it back up. And
Easter
well,
Day.
once we get the markings and stuff on there too, so,
About a month with Easter Day?
yeah, probably about a month.
For the east portion? It'll be a
Yes.
month?
Yeah.
Okay. Selfishly, I live near there, so.
Yeah. So the first thing they're gonna do is clean it all up. That's gonna happen next week.
find out what's broken and move on, eh?
Yep.
Yep.
And did you say last fall they're gonna look at that mess of 8 million signs at every roundabout, maybe, and
Yeah, we've
so
been,
that
we've
they're
been
not
looking
all
at that all
blocking
winter.
each other?
Yeah, we've been looking at that all winter. We're gonna
Okay.
make some adjustments there, yep.
All right.
It looks good on paper, right? Until you put it
Yeah.
out there. And it doesn't work.
Thank you, Dave.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Anybody have any questions for city manager on any of his items? All right, we will move on into item I, which is matters presented by the public. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to make any comments at this time? This is time set aside for anybody in the audience. Going once, going twice. And we will move on into item J, which is matters presented by the City Commission. Commissioners have anything? Commissioner Rubenstein.
Yeah, on Sunday, April 28th and Tuesday, April 30th, due to the generosity of Kevin and Pam Cooper, the Lake State Arts Center is going to be showing the movie Wonka. So I believe it's free to staff, students, and faculty, and only $5 to the general public. But a cool opportunity to get the community involved and back on campus. And there was a couple movies shown, I believe Polar Express and what was the other one? Oppenheimer earlier in the year. So please come out and enjoy.
Thanks, Commissioner.
Question.
Commissioner Bauer.
So let me get this straight. A dentist is sponsoring a movie about a candy maker.
Got to stay in business somehow.
Good pickup. Good pickup.
It's quick.
Anybody else? Commissioner Gage.
Just a brief comment that I was able to attend one of my committees today, the Dial-A-Ride Local Advisory Committee. Jeez. And we had a very pleasant meeting, and I just want to kind of appreciate Director Collins came and kind of made sure to mention that we were able to include additional money in the proposed budget to continue that Saturday service. So certainly that's good news, and hopefully we continue to see that. And it was a wonderful meeting, so it's the only thing I wanted to add.
Sure, we'll talk about it tomorrow night. Commissioner Obusta.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to comment that I had the opportunity to attend this past weekend the Sioux Theater's production of Mary Poppins Jr., and what an excellent job by so many youth in our community in that production. So I just want to give a shout out to them as well as their director, Ms. Karen Beacom, and again, fantastic job.
Good comments. Anybody else? Just wanted to remind everybody that 1 week from tomorrow is the last day that you can file for running for mayor or any of the commission seats. So 1 week from tomorrow, talk to the city clerk's office. 1 week from tomorrow, right, Robin? Okay. All right, anybody else? Commissioner Bauer.
Your Honor, I move that we adjourn